portal allows government services from different institutions to be accessible from one place. This means that if you want to go in and pay for your ground rate, if you want to go in and pay for your road tax, you are accessing all these services from one place, from the comfort of your home. So far, we have been able to collect a total of 7 billion kwacha in cumulative revenue from the 300 plus digital services that are currently available. This platform is available 24/7. This platform means that you are not only accessing the service during business hours, but you are able to access the service at whatever time from the comfort of your home. You'll be able to make the application, go through the payment, and be able to collect the receipt for your service without visiting a government office. So all these things I've shared with you have been good. We still have a long way to go when it comes to the digital agenda of our country. We were able to collaborate with several partners and deliver these wins even in an environment that was filled with pressure. I think, as all of you are aware, our country recently went through a period of drought. When there is no water, it adversely affects availability of power. As we all know, if there is no power, it means your digital device cannot be sustained. So this was a very pressure-filled time for us. We needed to go back to the drawing board and rethink how we are reaching the people, how are we delivering the service, how are we restructuring our finances to ensure that power is available to drive the digital agenda. Also during this period, we had the debt restructuring that the country was going through. This meant that prioritization of resources across sectors was constrained, and the digital sector was also negatively impacted by this. We needed to ensure that we had backup power in places of critical digital infrastructure to ensure that services were available to the citizens. Also during this period, if you may recall, due to geopolitical situations, we had a lot of aid put out of our country. This negatively impacted our sector, and this slowed down some of our plans because a high portion of our capital expenditure was funded by something heavily dependent on imported infrastructure devices. So until we reach a point in our country where we can assemble, we can put together this critical infrastructure locally, it means that our expenditure is doubled to what would be compared to a country that is manufacturing its own end-user devices. Cyber threats are also a huge negative element. As I mentioned, we are operating in a space with very low digital literacy skills. It means that people are easily scammed. I think we've all seen the stories going around about how people's mobile money has been taken away from them because they are not cyber aware. This is something that has negatively impacted our sector, but this is something that we continue to collaborate and work towards. So partnerships is very critical in our space. Remember, our sector does not operate as a standalone sector. It has the multiplier effect. It works across all sectors, and therefore partnership is the strength on which we rely. As I mentioned in the beginning, even with the media, we rely on you to be able to send the messaging of the digital transformation to the citizens. So recently, government was able to secure a total of $100 million from the World Bank for the Digital Zambia Acceleration Project. The project will run from 2026 to 2031. The main focus of this project will be to ensure that we can expand our infrastructure. Remember, I keep on going back to digital infrastructure because this is the bedrock. This is the foundation on which the digitization agenda is delivered. Without infrastructure, we'll have no services to reach the people. So the infrastructure component is very critical. We have a lot of work being done in the rural and far-to-reach areas to ensure that no one is left behind. Some of the key project targets that you should look forward to hearing more about is the completion of 2,000 kilometers of fiber optic to be added to the current network, meaning that more people are reachable, more people can access digital services instead of having to physically access a government office. In addition to the fiber optic, we are also looking to lay down 300 cell towers, predominantly in the rural areas. We will also have 500 government institutions connected. Currently, on the government network, we have close to 1,000 sites that have been connected through a multitude of means. We have low Earth orbit, we have fiber optic that is being used to ensure that our government offices are all connected to be able to deliver digital services. Also critical under the project will be the issuance of 4 million digital IDs to the citizens of Zambia. This one is very critical because the digital identity sits at the center of the digital transformation journey. So this one will be critical and it will greatly enhance and secure our digital environment. We will also continue to work on basic digital literacy to ensure that no one is left behind and to ensure that all the citizens can uptake the available digital services that are being offered by various government institutions. So in terms of particular strategic partnerships, I will speak into the academia. We currently have partnerships with the main learning institutions. This is the University of Zambia and the Copperbelt University to not only help develop the digital skills of the citizens, but to also help us ensure that we are building credible future members of the digital sector. We want to be able to ensure that we have students who have skills that are ready for industry. Our sector is one sector that evolves tremendously. You can't afford to be left behind. So we work closely with academia to ensure that we are able to build the future workforce of our country. We also have internships and innovation hubs that are being set to ensure that we continue to build the youthful resource of our country into practicing members of our economy. We also have strategic partnerships with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, who have provided support in expanding our infrastructure baseline. The International Telecommunications Union, ITU, have also played a critical role in ensuring that digital skills are impacted, especially in remote areas, and ensure that we have digital skill courses where the citizens can be onboarded. We also have the Institute of Health Measurement, which has been a critical partner in delivering the SmartCare Pro in the health sector to ensure that that sector can benefit from enhanced health service delivery by leveraging of technology. Last but not least, when it comes to strategic partnerships, is Zampost, who are helping us ensure that we are available within the communities, closer to the people, to ensure that even those who don't have devices have a place they can walk into and a person who can assist them to access digital services. I think with that, I'll allow Zampost to come and share our partnership story. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I'd like to rise on all the protocols already imposed as we started this meeting, and I bring greetings from our Postmaster General who has traveled for a work engagement. Zampost continues to play a pivotal role in advancing Zambia's digital transformation agenda through a strategic partnership with Smart Zambia Institute. This collaboration reflects government's broader commitment to ensuring that digital services are accessible to every citizen, regardless of location. By combining Smart Zambia's digital platforms with Zampost's existing nationwide footprint, the partnership is unlocking new opportunities to bring By combining Smart Zambia's digital platforms with Zampost's extensive nationwide footprint, the partnership is unlocking new opportunities to bring government services closer to the communities, particularly in rural and underserved areas. The partnership has already delivered meaningful results and continues to position Zampost as a critical last-mile enabler of digital services across the country. Some of the key highlights and the successes in the partnership. Thank you. Some of the key highlights and successes of our partnership with Smart Zambia. One of them is our strategic digital partnership where Zampost and Smart Zambia entered into an MOU to collaborate as strategic partners in expanding access to digital services nationwide. The second one is deployment of Starlink connectivity. In 2024, Smart Zambia Institute supported Zampost with the deployment of 103 Starlink connectivity kits across selected post offices, which significantly improved internet access and digital service capabilities across the network. Strengthening last mile digital access. With improved connectivity, post offices are now better positioned to serve as community access points for digital services, particularly in rural and underserved areas where reliable internet infrastructure remains limited. The fourth one, establishment of digital transformation centers. Zampost has since launched over 90 digital transformation centers after the initial 6 that were flagged off by the national coordinator in Luapula province, providing citizens with physical access points to interact with digital platforms, access government services, and build digital skills. To this effect, Zampost is a recipient of equipment to achieve this under the DZAP project. Growing citizen engagement. The initiative has already generated significant uptake, with more than 5,000 digital service transactions recorded across the post office network, demonstrating growing public adoption and digital government services. Capacity building. Zampost staff have participated in training of trainers programs in digital literacy and cybersecurity awareness, equipping frontline staff with the skills needed to assist citizens in accessing digital platforms safely and effectively. Integration with government digital platforms. Through this partnership, Zampos supports citizens' access to services integrated through the government service bus, which currently hosts over 300 government services. By combining digital infrastructure, trained personnel, and a nationwide physical network, Zampos is helping to bridge the digital divide and bring government services closer to communities in Zambia. And how we're looking ahead in this partnership. As Zambia continues its digital transformation journey, Zampos is positioning its nationwide network of post offices to serve as a digital frontline office for government services. Through continued collaboration with Smart Zambia, the corporation will expand digital access, support citizen engagement, and ensure that benefits of the digital government reach every Zambian citizen in every part of the country. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Those were our partners. The one speaking was the Acting Postmaster General, Ms. Piwe Zama. Most people ask us at Smart Zambia Institute, how are you catering for people in the remote places? These are some of the ways that we do that, working with Zambia Zampost, where we're calling them digital transformation centers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, up next on our program, we have something we are calling infotainment, okay? Some of you may have never heard that word. I'm going to invite the Definixionary Arts Poetry Group. Now, when I first heard these young ladies, I got literal goosebumps. They're coming all the way from Kafue. Shall we give them a round of applause? Let's encourage them. Let's give them a round of applause as they come up front to give us a beautiful piece. You don't want to miss this. So ladies, you can just stand in front of the podium.
Yes, you are Zambian. Therefore, yes, I am Zambian. So what? Okay, we are Zambians. What comes next? What does it mean to be Zambian? To be Zambian is to be bold like Bali. Bold enough to dream no matter how difficult things may seem. To be Zambian is to be resilient like Bali. Never giving up and ever believing that in us lies the ability to change history. To be Zambian is to be smart like Bali. A master strategist striving to make Zambia outshine obstacles. Their goal is to make Mother Zambia smarter than she has ever been. My grandmother tells me stories of how cumbersome it was to access government services yesterday. That she had to join a long queue by 04 hours, only to be subjected to songs with bitter melody. Songs like, "Come back tomorrow. The system is down. The stamp is missing. Sorry, your file was misplaced. But lo and behold, here comes a new dawn. The dawn of smart innovation. There is a digital eye that has you covered. No shadow to hide in, no middleman's toe. We now have a vote so cool and transparent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't had reasons to smile since January this year, we have brought you chill pills all the way from Kafue, the Definixionary Arts and Poetry Club. Bring you smart smiles via a piece of poetry entitled Keeping Zambia Smart. Yes, Keeping Zambia Smart. What is a nation without education? What is a nation without communication? What is a nation without digitalization? What is Zambia without smart innovations? Smart Zambia is clarity and not mediocrity. A relief built on belief with a smart digital sheet. A reminder that Zambia's next millionaires are already eligible for the future. The smart Zambia, the pillar of our nation bound in struggle, it to unite at a digital confluence called Zampoto. Just like the Kazungula Quadric Points unite Zambia, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Botswana. The Zampoto is forged in the fire of 1,000 stones as a testimony of Zambia's digital victory. Just like the beams of the sun prove that the earth is spherical in shape. Smart Zambia innovation is a secret sphere uniting Zambians more than just by the One Zambia, One Nation motto. Smart Zambia is a manifestation of creative genes blending our shared dreams. Where upon each and every login, a bridge is built. Zambia is set to transact with ease and convenience. Smart Zambia is clarity and not mediocrity. A relief built on belief with the smart digital shapes. A reminder that Zambia's next millionaires are already eligible for the future. A future of sustainability, growing roots. A future of ICT, turning milestones. A future of determination above limitation. A future of less capital intervention and more digital ignition. Born at the mountains of paper and dust. In coding and clouding now lies the new trust. From Lusaka's towers to the plains of the west, your government is putting long distance to rest. No more queuing in halls, just a click on the screen. The smartest Zambia by Zambians ever seen. Smart Zambia pillars held up the sky. Data flowing fast, network flying high. A hub for the region, bridge for the poor. With AI guiding to open the door. Payments traveling, no borders or walls. A superb digital fabric is covering us all. Smart Zambia is clarity and not mediocrity. A relief built on belief with the smart digital sheets. A reminder that Zambia's next millionaires are already eligible for the future. A Zampoto service is at your fingertips. It is a one-stop shop ever at your service. Then why be roasted in the sun when the portal is here? Be it for paying tax or license, all is clear. No come back tomorrow or bribe on the side. It's all about a service with nothing to hide. The Zampoto is open with a gate so grand. Government services in the palm of your hand. Mistake not this project for simple IT. Rather, it's all about human development. Casting nets wide to include rural health. Talk of the villages where power lines end. Signal arrives like a word of a friend. No clinic is left out, no patient ignored. It's connectivity and health in one common cut. Let it be known from south to north. The digital word has truly gone forth. It's not about servers, cables, or chips. It's a smile of service on the citizens' lips. Smart Zambia is clarity and not mediocrity. A relief built on belief with the smart digital sheets. A reminder that Zambia's next millionaires are already eligible for the future. Spice your life. Bolawanyu. Aikona uletu mdala. Bolawanyu. Bospreza no mubigi hand. Ndakila. Opponent ingasa koloka. Ndakila. Spice your life. Bolawanyu. Aikona uletu mdala. Bolawanyu. Bospreza no mubigi hand. Ndakila. Opponent ingasa koloka. Ndakila.
Wow, thank you so much. The National Coordinator is greeting our young minds. The future is really bright. Let's give them a round of applause once again. The Dictionary Art Poetry Group all the way from Kafue. Such young talents. Amazing, amazing. Wow, I got goosebumps all over again. I wish I could take them home so that they can just be telling me every day you are beautiful. You're God's loved one. I would feel so great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've set the tone, we'll keep taking it higher and higher. Now, to continue our presentation, we are going to have the Smart Zambia Institute National Coordinator, Mr. Percy Chinyama, who's going to come and talk about what holds for Smart Zambia. What does the future look like for Smart Zambia? It's my honor and privilege to invite to the stage Mr. Percy Chinyama, the National Coordinator of Smart Zambia Institute. Shall we give him a round of applause?
Let's be seated. Morning, everyone. Allow me, first of all, to recognize the media. There's something going on here. Okay? Right. I will start with the media because you are the guest of honor today. I know that usually we used to meet much often in the past. We tried to do one quarter meeting. Every quarter we used to meet. But I think the work became heavier and heavier. But today is an indication that we have not forgotten the media. You are still our very, very important partner, especially because now what has happened to governance is that governance is about communicating with the people. And you are the most effective tool that we can use to communicate with the people of Zambia. So I wish to recognize you. I'll recognize my honorable MP that is there, Honorable Maleta. Thank you for coming. This is now a very good friend of Smart Zambia, very available to guide us, to help us to improve on the services that we're giving the Zambians. So Honorable, we wish to thank you for making time and coming. We're looking forward to hear what you have to say to us. I will recognize my colleague, the government's CTO, Madam Kasali Msenge, who ran us through what we have done. Thank you, Madam, for that very good introduction of why we are here. I wish to recognize Smart Zambia management, all of you colleagues who have come to be with us today. I know there are people from the other ministries. I've seen one or two. I've seen health. I've seen a few other ministries. Thank you for being here. It was important that you're here so that we stand together too as we communicate to the rest of the country. Now, before I go, I should recognize the young ones who just did that presentation. Let's give them another. They managed to communicate something that we haven't been able to manage to communicate. But they did it in a song, in a poem, in a rap. If things were different, we would have said, let's end here because everything has been said and done. But I think let's move to this segment so that we do the clarity that they say we are about. Smart Zambia is about clarity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will start first by appreciating the presentation that GCTO made, where she brought out what we have done from 2021 up to the end of 2025. It is very important that this is communicated because it shows the growth trajectory that the country is going through in the digital space. Two things must be said today. Two areas where the government has scored have to be communicated today. One, the contribution that ICT has made to the economic growth. This contribution is not coming from our heads, it's there. The percentage growth on the economic growth that has happened because of ICTs. Second one is the reduction of the possible corruption that would have taken place in this country had we not digitized. If you look at those numbers, and they say numbers don't lie, it's clear that digitization has been significant to our economic status. And that then tells you that if we digitize more, it means we'll grow the country more, we'll reduce on corruption more. That is a simple way you can interpret those numbers. We digitize more, we grow the country more. If you look at the areas that Madam Kasali presented on, you realize that we were being intentional. We're looking at three aspects. Everything that we do comes from a direction that has been given. And as the young ladies put it here, the head of state gave direction, three areas: economic growth, social inclusivity, job creation. So if you look at the areas whether you're talking about home affairs, you're talking about health, you're talking about systems that we're putting in minds, it was about covering all these three areas. And as I present to you what the way forward is, I want to mention that we are still going to be intentional in these three areas: economic growth, social inclusivity, and job creation. If you look at the slide that is here, it is clear that connectivity will be the backbone of our digital transformation agenda. And going forward, we intend to be intentional about connectivity. Earlier this year, we signed a very important MOU with ZESCO. What was the idea? Why did we have to sign with ZESCO? The idea is that ZESCO has got a backbone that goes across the country. And if we use that backbone and just spice it with a little more infrastructure, where there is power, we can now have connectivity. So we want to ensure that we engage seriously with ZESCO. We signed the MOU. ZESCO have said, yes, Smart Zambia, you can use our backbone. And for us, we have seen this as an opportunity to get the connectivity that we're talking about. The areas that the fiber cannot reach, that we are putting outside the ZESCO network, will then be reached through this MOU. So that was one intentional thing that we have done that is speaking to the way forward. We want to improve on the connectivity. This year we are hoping that once we sign other agreements with ZESCO, we'll reach the 80% plus connectivity across the country. That's number one. Number two, in line with that, we want to ensure that we have one ecosystem from which all public bodies are communicating. So, ministries, public bodies, and all that are stakeholders to government. One platform where all payments are made, all transactions are made. There will be no need for physical movement of letters. There will be no need of physical transfer of data. One platform to create a digital government. And for that platform to work, the infrastructure must be there. And I've already said we're taking care of the infrastructure. Now we'll just put now the softer things to ensure that that platform is there. This is in the agenda for this year. We're starting. And the aim, like I said, is to ensure that that connectivity is there, but not for the sake of connectivity, to respond to issues of economic growth, social inclusion, and job creation. And then, we can move to the next slide. We want to now look at the softer issues. If you notice on this box here, we're talking about institutional digitalization. When we talk about institutional digitalization, we're talking about services that are being provided within government and also to the citizens. I'll start with one very critical one that is in the Ministry of Mines. Today, as we speak, our officers have trained some mining bodies on what we are calling Content Management Information System. And I want you to get what this Content Management Information System is. It's an intentional agenda to ensure that government is monitoring, is seeing how much business is going to the local Zambia. Now, the way that system has been built is that every transaction that will be done by a local Zambian company is going to be monitored on that system. And penalties are there for the mines that do not comply with the thresholds. Now, why is this very important? This one sits in the area of economic growth, job creation, and also inclusivity. How? We know that the vision of the president is to grow the economy to a 60 billion economy. One sector which will be very critical for us to grow into a 60 billion economy is the mines. The mines. The mines have been given a target of 3 million metric tons. If you look at the projections that are there of how much copper will be in the next few years, 3 million metric tons means a lot of money towards the 60 billion mark. Now, the intentionalness comes in here. How do we ensure that the Zambian benefits from this 60 billion economy? Build a system that will monitor how much business is going to the Zambian, how much business is going to those cooperatives, how much business is going outside Zambia, so that within the thresholds that have been created for local content. When we say local content, we're saying business being done within Zambia. Are we together, you guys? Within those thresholds, if the mines is doing well, there is no penalty. The system has been built to automatically penalize those mines that will be doing external businesses more than the local businesses. You guys should be clapping about this. So, we are being intentional now going forward, even with the systems that we are building. Remember, the aim is just not to digitize for the sake of digital. The aim is to ensure that we're responding to the issues that are on the ground. So I've taken care of that one. Let's go to the CDF. Kasali talked about CDF. As we speak right now, we have rolled out a CDF management information system. And in all the councils, what is going on is that the data entry is happening so that people catch up with what is going on. By June, we'll have a fully fledged CDF management system. What does that mean? That means that we'll be able to track transaction by transaction, payment by payment happening in the CDF space. The government will be able to see where the money is going and what development is happening there. Intention. Why? So that we make sure that even the way CDF is being managed is inclusivity. Where the gaps will be able to see from the office, the head of state will see, Pika, this money came, it's going to the same people. What's going on in Pika? So we have built that ecosystem to manage CDF as another way of being intentional. The e-councils, I know it's not here, but I'll talk about it. This year we intend to ensure we roll out an e-council system that will monitor all the councils, all the transactions that they're doing. That will monitor the revenue collection that is happening in the council. Remember, all these things are coming from directives that have been given out. So we'll get to a point where the council will be able to understand what revenue streams are available where they are and collect the funds. The idea is that the councils must stand by themselves, apart from CDF, just from managing their revenue, managing where the funds should come from. They should stand by themselves. So we are modernizing each and every council. We already did, I think she mentioned, we put networks already. We made sure that they can have a 24-hour economy by ensuring that they've got solar power and alternative power. So there is no blackouts in any of the councils as we speak now. And now, the next layer is to ensure these councils are able to account for the revenue in their places. Mines, we've already spoken about it. Health, she has spoken about the Smart Care Pro that has been developed, where we are now ensuring that patients' records are being managed digitally. We've got to reach a point where there is no need for someone to go with the file that they had. They can just go to any hospital. The record can be retrieved. And remember, all these things are responding to something within those three things I mentioned. Inclusivity, social protection, job creation. Now, there's something I want to mention. And I want to thank the Zampost for that presentation, showing how we are ensuring we want to reach everybody. Remember, colleagues, for us to have a successful digital agenda, we have to reach. So like was mentioned, every post office in Zambia, we put a Starlink kit. After we had launched, well, not launched, after we had recognized the Inisepela application, someone asked me, what about those who don't have smartphones? Go to the post offices. Youth, go to the post offices. You will find internet services there. Use those internet services there. Economically being provided. Government is subsidizing and ensuring that you are being provided with internet at economic cost, and in other places at no cost at all. Go there, download the application, put in your details, make the application that you want. So those that do not have, we have put what was mentioned here, the DTCs, which are the post offices, but not only that, every member of parliament office has internet. That's the reach we're trying to do. every member of parliament office, and we have designated those also as public services for the citizens in those constituencies. So, yes, we want to make the reach, but there's something that has always been missing in this agenda, and Madam Kasali did allude to it. We needed a common denominator which will ensure that government knows the person they're dealing with. And so, this year, we're going to build an ecosystem for a digital ID. An ecosystem for a digital ID. That ecosystem for a digital ID is not a digital ID that is just there for you to say, oh, I am who I am. No, no. It's for you to consume services. It is you to ensure, you know, it cuts across different sectors of our lives. Whether you're talking about insurances, whether you're talking about taxes, you're talking about banking, all that in one ecosystem to simplify our lives. The digital ID will not only be there for your identity to be there for you to facilitate travel. It will be there for you to facilitate use of government services. I'll give an example of one thing that we rarely talk about, but it is something that will help us when we do have a digital ID. The digital ID will help government even provide selective services. If at some point the head of state decides, oh, there is a certain grouping of citizens that needs support, even subsidies, with a digital ID, government will be able to be selective and to be intentional about who they are supporting. Rather than now, if government had to do a subsidy, it would be a subsidy even for those that are rich. Are we together? So it's an intentional move to help in governance, but it also has a lot of byproduct results, which we need. Our taxes will be easy to collect. Our insurance systems will be easy to monitor. You as a citizen will be known by your government and be served at your point of need. No guesswork. It's not a matter of just saying, okay, no, we just know that, oh, this whole area we have to serve. No, 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 no. It will be person by person. Who needs a service? If there is healthcare insurance that should be provided to the people of Zambia, it will be selective because we know each one of you. We talk about school support, university support, no guesswork. It will be very hard for someone who is earning a good income to pretend not to be earning an income and want perhaps bursary support from government. Right now, if you look at the services that we are providing to the people, whether it is FISIT, whether it's social cash transfer, whether it is cash for work, we're doing it. Of course, we have put mechanisms to be as efficient as possible, but we are not at 100% with being intentional that we are giving the right person. And that's what a digital ID is about. Government services to the people, people to government. Apart from that, we want to ensure that now on that same ecosystem we allow for payments. We put a proper payment system. Citizens will be able to take money back to the government. Government will be able to pay selected people. You saw what happened when we needed to pay the farmers. I don't know if you journalists were following that. In some cases, you'd find that the farmers wanted cash. They wanted the money to come to them. But it was so tedious because even when government had the funds, to ensure now that they're paying the right person, we had to put a lot of procedures. How do we know this is the right person? It was still growth, social inclusivity, job creation. I want to talk about, from the way forward now, Madam Kasali talked about how we want to ensure that through the German grant, the World Bank grant 100 million that was there, we would want to serve the Zambian people. And she already mentioned, first of all, most of it is going to ensure that we do have the digital ID. She talked about the 300 towers. And I think we all know, no need to speak very much about the 300 towers, why they were there. It's to ensure that we improve on communication, connectivity, data exchange. Zambians should not be far away and cut out from the rest of the country. So we're going to have those 300 towers that we are working very diligently with the Ministry of Technology to ensure that we deliver those things as soon as possible. But from all that, I need you to see how we are going to be intentional about job creation. As a division, following directives, of course, from the head of state, we have said we're going to be very intentional, first of all, with the procurements that are going on through this grant. We want to make sure that the Zambians are part of this as much as possible. It's a conditionality. But most of all, as we build from this same grant, the platform that is going to be a common platform, we want to ensure that that build is not just being done by Smart Zambia. We will build that with the private sector. We have made deliberate strides to ensure that we partner with who we are calling developing partners. I think right now we have about 23 of them. We said all those that are developers, whether it is a company, whether it is a school, whether it's a group of youths who feel they are good at development, come together, put up your profile. Tell us who you are, what you are capable of doing. We want to be intentional to ensure that as we build the services of this new platform, it will be government in partnership with the private sector. That we're going to be intentional about. And we're not leaving the private, we're not leaving the academia out of it. The academia is also invited, and we've seen some of the academia coming to the table. But going forward, we want to be more and more intentional. We have learned a lot from the past 4 years that we have served as the e-government division. And we have seen the benefit that comes from partnership with either the private sector or academia. The reason we have to be intentional about that is that we want to keep the sector solid, first of all. 2, we understand that when we partner with the private sector, We are creating jobs. We're creating jobs in the, not only in the sector, but even those peripheral administrative roles that support the actual delivery, which is of course ICT. But most importantly, we do not want to remain behind in the global development of ICTs as a country. When, just a few years ago, if you know when we would engage with the private sector who are in this sector, you find that most of them were just procuring years at a certain level in this sector. We have to change that. The only way we can change that is these partnerships. They become part of the build. They become part of the design. They become part of the engineering to build these systems that we have been funded well for. We have seen this as an opportunity and we will run with it. We will ensure as much as possible that the private sector is part of the build. So, exam portal which was being talked about. Currently, yes, it's a little private sector, but it's limited. Now we have to open up. I've been telling CTO, we have to open up. Everyone that can build, let them build. After all, the product is a product. Once it passes through the quality assurance from our end, we then adopt so that the sector remains solid. We create jobs in the sector. And we don't remain behind with the technological growth that's going across the globe. PPPs. Just watch the space. We'll be going into a number of PPPs for government services. Same reasons that are behind us engaging the private sector. That partnership is very key. The government has taken serious this private-public partnership, this which has been put on the table by the current government through the creation of the Public Partnership Forum, PPDF, Development Forum, and if you look at the objectives that PPDF wants to do, is to ensure that the private sector is kept afloat. It is possible, ladies and gentlemen, to put up a team of engineers that are probably 300 sitting in government, developing systems, and just being paid a salary. But that would affect the sector out there. So, on that front, we want to work with the academia, with the private sector, and we want to work with those that have got agendas that are building the social fiber in the youth. The Isabella group, whatever groups that are going to come up. We want to modernize and heighten those engagements. I think I have said it all. I think we have communicated what we wanted to communicate. The best way to sum this up, to put a cap to everything that we have said, is that we want to be intentional going forward and continue to be intentional to respond to the needs of the country. We want to be intentional to ensure that the fiber of the ICT sector is kept solid. We want to be intentional about ensuring that Zambians get jobs, ensuring that the economy continues to grow, and when it grows, that us, the Zambians, are part of the consumption of that growth. With those words, I wish to thank you all for giving us this time and listening to us. All those that were part of the organizing, I wish to thank you all, and God bless you all.
Tomorrow, click, tap, here we go. From the village to the city, once it's done, one flow. Smart Zambia, digitalized, connected Zambia. Smart Zambia, making every public service easy. Smart Zambia, bringing every citizen nearer.
Thank you so much to the National Coordinator for Smart Zambia Institute. He left us with one word, and I guess as social media goes, we can say #intentional. As Smart Zambia, we want to be intentional, and we are going to be intentional. Just to mention to our media that we will have, after this, we'll have a QR code that will have a media pack that will have all these beautiful presentations that have been presented and more information for you. So please make sure that you just scan the QR code after that. Now to our media, I'm sure as the presentations were going, I'm sure some of us had questions or clarity that we might have had. So we have now come to the part of the program where we'll have the question and answer, and I'll just ask that somebody will help me pass the mics. But to the media, this is your time for you to ask a question. So if you have a question, you can just say your name and which media house you're from and the question that you have. So do I have any hands for a question? Thank you so much. There. Okay, thank you. Oh wow, yes, I love this. Okay, so we'll start with the table over there. With the two questions, you just say your name, which institution you're from, and then we'll start with those two questions first. And somebody assist the high table with the mic as well. Thank you. Okay, thank you. You can go ahead, please.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone, and good morning to the members of the high table. My name is Lindiwe Ulaya, and I represent a private media house named LJD Productions. I have one question that is, I was interested in the Smart Care Pro that was shared today, and I wanted to ask how it's going to be practically run in health facilities and hospitals, especially seeing, if I heard you correctly, that we're trying to do away with, say, physical medical files. How are we planning on going about this? Are we hoping to have like computers or laptops as doctors are doing their ward rounds, when nurses are inputting their various things into those files? I just wanted some clarification on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindiwe. Our next question.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chole Chembe from One Love Radio. My question is around the target of 4 million citizens in the first round of the digital IDs. I just want to find out how the Institute is going to achieve this 4 million, and how you're looking to working with mobile network operators, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and in terms of capturing these digital IDs. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cholwe. Before we have the high table answer the questions, I'd just like to mention that all questions should be based on the presentations that were given. But thank you so much for those questions. I'll allow the high table to address those two questions for now. Thank you.
Madam Lindiwe, Smart Care Pro. So as I mentioned during the presentation. Firstly, it's important to understand that digitization and technology is being used in the health sector to enhance current processes. So for instance, when we visit the hospital, we need an x-ray, we go to the lab, we see the doctor. All those are already existing processes. What digitization will do is enhance these processes. So the first layer is to ensure that we have connectivity. Currently, we have connectivity in over 50% of the health facilities available. On top of the connectivity sits the platform, the SmartCare Pro, which we also refer to as an electronic health records management system. What that entails is that then the system is able to capture what would have been your physical file. It's able to capture this in digital format. So to ensure that then the system is able to be utilized, we have training for the various health professionals that are stationed at those centers to allow them to be able to use the system now to interact with the citizen as opposed to the paper-based records. So from the Smart Zambia perspective, what we are providing is the technology, meaning